Hello, in this lesson, I want you to use the law of cosines to solve triangles. I want you to choose the method to solve triangles. Our first vocabulary word is law of cosines. Another way to solve an oblique triangle is what's called the law of cosines. Notice it says c squared equals a squared plus b squared. That's your Pythagorean theorem, isn't it? And since it's not a right triangle, we have this correction factor, minus 2ab times the cosine of c. There's a proof of this, of how you do this. We draw on the altitude, kind of we did the law of sines. It's a little bit more drawn out, a lot more algebraic than proving the law of sines. So we wait to pre-calculus to actually do the proof of this. But there is a proof out there. You could probably look it up if you're really interested. What I want you to notice here is notice when I'm side C, angle C are the same. You have two other ways you can write this, but they're variable, so it really doesn't matter. The important thing is the side I'm looking for is opposite the angle I'm looking for, or I have. So I look at what I have here. So if I look at I want to solve triangle ABC. And you're going, why am I going to use something so complicated when I have the law of sines? And that's a great question. The reason is because we can't use a law of sines. Notice in this particular triangle, I don't know the side opposite 73 degrees. And I don't know the angle opposite 7 nor the angle opposite 10. In order to use a law of sines, I need to know one of those to have a proportion. So we're going to use the law of cosines here. I'm going to use C because let's solve for my unknown. So C squared equals A squared plus B squared minus 2ab times the cosine of C. It's just plug and chug. So we know side A is 7. We know side B is 10. We know angle C is 73 degrees. So I'm going to say C squared equals 7 squared plus 10 squared minus 2 times 7 times 10 times the cosine of my angle, which in this case is 73 degrees. Now we're just going to simplify this. So put a minus there, I meant a plus side. 7 squared plus 10 squared. So you get 49 plus 100 minus 2 times 7 is 14 times 10 is 140 times the cosine of 73. Well, 49 plus 100 is 149 minus 140 times the cosine of 73. Don't subtract 149 and 140 because you have to multiply 140 times the cosine of 73 first. So in other words, I'm just going to use my calculator at this point. So I'm going to get C squared equals 149. Let's do this. 149 minus 140 times the cosine of 73 degrees. I'm going to go back to my problem just to make sure I don't have a mistake there anyway. So C squared turns out to be 108.07. So then, to find C, we're going to take the square root of both sides. So if I take the square root of my answer, I get about 10.4 for side C. Now that you know side C, we can use the law of sines to find angle A and then angle B. So let's find angle A then. So I'm going to use the law of sines. I don't have to use the law of cosines now because now I know the side, the angle and the side opposite, so it becomes much simpler. So I'm going to say, let's do the sine of angle A over A. And since I know C, I'm going to say that's the sine of angle C over C. And notice I chose my unknown I put in the numerator. So then, let's substitute in what we know. I'm going to find the sine of angle A. I'm going to divide that by side A, which is 7, equals the sine Oops. Let's undo that. There we go. Equals the sine of 73, because angle C is 73, over side C, which is about 10.4. I'll use that. I'll try to keep that value in my calculator. So the sine of angle A, multiply both sides by 7. You get 7 times the sine of 73 divided by 10.4. So I'll use that in my calculator now. So I'm going to say the sine of angle A. If I take 7 times the sine of 73, and then I'm going to divide that by 10.4, my answer in this case, and I get about 0.64. So the sine of angle A is 0.64, so I want to find the measure of angle A. Well, the measure of angle A then is going to be the inverse sine of 0.64. So then I know the measure of angle A. Let's take the inverse sine of that answer in my calculator. So I go to functions, I go inverse sine, and I'm going to take 0.64, and I get about 40 degrees. So the measure of angle A is 40 degrees. I'm going to rewrite that. I don't like how that looks. And then to find the angle B, you don't have to use law of sines or law of cosines. Let's use the triangle sum theorem, because now we know angle A is 40 degrees. We know angle C is 73. We know there's 180 degrees in a triangle. So if I take 180 minus 40, I get 140. Take 140 minus 73, I do believe that's 67, but I'm going to just do a real quick check here. So if we take 140 minus 77, I get 63. Wow. Yeah, 63. I can't subtract in my head, apparently. So angle B is 63 degrees. And there you have it. So using the law of cosines, we just substitute our numbers in, use most of the work is me on the calculator.